Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition of our program, Africa Today. Cairo said it is looking forward to continue and increase the cooperation with the African Development Bank in the coming period in various areas within the framework of the common strategic goals between the two sides. This came during the meeting with the visiting African Development Bank Group, AFDB, and his accompanying delegation. More details in the following story by Samah Sharif.
The president of the African Development Bank Group, AFDB, Akinwumi Adesina, was in Cairo with a delegation which included Vice President of the bank, Kevin Urama, and Secretary General of the bank, Vincent Mhili. The meeting with the Sisi in Cairo was attended by the Governor of the Central Bank of Egypt, CBE, Hassan Abdullah, Deputy CBE Governor, and Sub-Governor for the Foreign Relations Sector. During the meeting with the Sisi, he welcomed the development of cooperation between Cairo and the African Development Bank. He expressed his appreciation for the AFDB's role in supporting the development sectors in Africa, particularly in light of the growing economic challenges at the international level. He also affirmed that Cairo looked forward to continuing and increasing cooperation with the African Development Bank in the coming period in various areas within the framework of the common strategic goals between the two sides. Adesina said he was pleased that Egypt would host the bank's annual meetings in Sharm el-Sheikh in May. The meeting would focus on encouraging continental economic integration as well as mechanisms to close the African continent's climate finance gap. Sisi expressed his full support for the bank and its annual meetings and affirmed Cairo's constant interest to promote the interests of Africa in all its forms and at all levels.
Egypt is the largest steel producer in Africa and the second largest in the Middle East and the North African region, MENA. This came in a report by the Fitch Solutions, quoted by the Information and Decision Support Center in its report.
A recent report noted that while the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted steel production in the region, Egypt's steel output remained steady throughout. The report indicated Egypt's steel production amounted to 9.8 million tons in 2022. Fitch's report forecasts that Egypt's steel output will have an average annual growth of 1.5% over the next 10 years, as government support helps wean the country off steel imports. Egypt's mining sector is expected to receive investment along with other regional producers like Saudi Arabia and Morocco. The report by Fitch expects that MENA's metals and mining industry will grow at an accelerated pace in the next decade, driven by strong government support in the region. The report said Egypt has an ambitious target to increase mining exports to $10 billion by 2040. The expected steady increase in gold prices over the next 5 years is also expected to drive mining and exploration in Egypt.
Cyclone Freddy, which killed hundreds of people in Madagascar, Malawi, and Mozambique, is yet claiming more lives with the spread of the cholera in areas it did hit. Cases have nearly doubled in Mozambique in 1 week to 19,000 people amid the shortage of facilities, many of which were badly damaged by the cyclone, especially in the worst hit province of Zambezia. More details in the following report.
Cyclone Freddy killed hundreds of people in February and March as it pummeled Madagascar, Malawi, and Mozambique. While the long-running storm's victims were mostly in Malawi, floodwaters in Mozambique have created a fresh threat there from cholera. Cases have nearly doubled in 1 week to 19,000 amid a shortage of facilities, many of which were badly damaged by the cyclone, especially in the worst-hit province of Zambezia. The neighborhood of Isidua, on the outskirts of Quelimane city in Mozambique's central Zambezia province, has reported the highest number of cholera cases. Most victims lived in flimsy huts made of mud or bamboo that were flattened by the cyclone's up to 215 km/h winds. The local health center's building is no longer stable, so doctors and nurses work outside under the shade of trees. Doctors say cholera cases are increasing and the health centers do not have the capacity to treat everybody. The outbreak is not confined to Quelimane city. The UN says more than 19,000 cases have been confirmed across 8 of Mozambique's 10 provinces. The World Health Organization's office has called it the worst cholera outbreak in Mozambique for 20 years.